let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go! Six! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Music gets me fired up every single morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you here on a game day Friday. The Hawkeyes in action tonight, 7 o'clock at Rutgers. We'll be talking more about that game as the morning goes along. But if you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, give this channel a subscription, give this video a like. And, of course, you can start leaving your comments in the comments section and follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Ross Peterson, I see you're still at the lake. What's wrong?
Still at the lake.
Still at the lake.
I was going to adjust my camera here a little bit, see if we can make this not so harsh for me.
You look fine.
How are you, buddy? How was
good?
How was your Thursday? Everything good?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm positive that you had a much better Thursday because you were on a lake, you were with your friends, you seem relaxed, and I have a feeling you probably ate some pretty good fish yesterday.
Oh, dude. We had an amazing lunch yesterday, but I thought, didn't I see on Facebook that you got to see Sutton yesterday?
Yeah, so the grandbaby's upstairs sleeping right now. They got in about 5 o'clock yesterday, and we had a little party at the house last night. A lot of friends came over. A lot of family members came over. So we got a baby in the house right now. And who knows, she might make an appearance this morning. She might, if they get up walking around, who knows if little Suddy gets to come down here and make her YouTube debut.
Well,
that's what it would be.
That's a pretty good day, dude. I'm glad that you at least got to have that happen. I had an awesome day. I had a day that was expected. I mean, we went out, caught 1 billion fish. Everybody caught fish. Dusty caught a 26-inch walleye.
Wow.
Luann had a heater for a while. Courtney was slaying. Courtney probably caught more fish than anybody.
Now, are the fish biting more in September than they were when you were there a couple months ago?
It's way more consistent. Way more. This is like when we used to come and joke about how hot it was. It's getting a lot more like that. The last couple of years weren't great, but yesterday was an awesome first day, and even the guides were like, "Yeah, it's a little slower than it has been."
Yeah, a little slower, huh? A little slower.
So, going to be a fun day. It's beautiful. It's probably the high temperature for the day right now. It's right around 60, something like that. High 50s,
low 60s. You're bundled up for 60 degrees. You're bundled up.
Got the insulated sweater, and I got a vest on that's like heated, but I don't have the heat on right now.
Now, is today a day that you're going to have to pace yourself? Hear me out, because you're up doing the show nice and early. You're going to go get on a boat right afterwards. 7 o'clock tonight, the Hawkeyes kick off against Rutgers. And then right around 10:30, maybe quarter to 11, we're going to be on the air again with the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. And it's going to be a long, long day. Is this a nap day for Ross Peterson to get
it was a long. I'll tell you, I went to bed about 7:30 last night.
7:30?
Yeah, planning for this. I mean, and we were just talking about it. It's going to be a long day. Maybe a fun day. Maybe an absolute great day and incredibly memorable. And then we found out last night, dude, the island is full of Hawk fans.
Really?
Full of. We're going to have a party tonight for the game.
Bring me up to speed. How did you find that out?
Well, I mean, dude, you just start talking to guys. We've met some really, really fascinating dudes here. In fact, one of the guys that I'm on the island with, Travis, owns radio stations in Decorah, Iowa. Was listening to our conversation yesterday about iHeart and corporate media. He's a family-owned and operated radio stations out of Decorah. And then I met this, I think I mentioned yesterday that I had met a guy named Joe who lives up near Decorah. And then yesterday we got to meet a dude named Dewey who was super
What a great
fascinating.
name. What a great name, Dewey.
There's something weird about this, though. This guy swears we've been on this island together with him before. And this guy's fascinating enough that we would have remembered him. He had a career as an Air Force pilot. He was a fighter pilot in the Air Force. Retired from there, got a job down in Atlanta with Delta, was a commercial pilot with Delta for many years, and now trains pilots for Delta. And Travis, he grew up dirt poor in Tipton, Iowa, as a farmer.
Okay.
Like, an awesome story. Really, really cool guy. We met him. I met him yesterday, I felt like, but we were talking, and all of a sudden he looks at my buddy Dusty, and he goes, I've met you before. Aren't you in radio? And Dusty goes, well, no, my buddy Ross is in radio. And he's like, yeah, I've fished here with you guys before. I'm like, man, we should know this guy because
because you're really good at remembering people, especially names, and you would remember a name like Dewey
and I mean, story like that. I mean, I couldn't. We got to talking. He's like, yeah, I've worked for Delta since 2001. I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, well, wait, man, you'd have had one hell of a career in the Air Force then. And he's like, oh yeah, very proud of that. Loved my time in the Air Force. I'm like, whoa, let's talk. I got a lot to talk to you about.
So you guys are all going to get. So is that group all coming together to watch the game tonight? Then,
yeah. I'm gonna guess we'll have 15 people in the lodge watching the game.
Oh, that's perfect.
It'll be a fun time, and all Hawk fans, which means it'll be
tribalism.
Tribalism. What a great word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Hawk rally in Canada. It's just like you'll have your high moments and your low moments all together, and you'll be able to be there in your misery.
Well, one of the guys here on the island has the audacity to be a Minnesota Gophers fan, and he filled out one of the boards last night, and at the bottom of it put "Go Scarlet Knights."
No.
So
is he still on the island?
Huh?
Is he still on the island?
That didn't last long on the board.
Something tells me you could disappear on that island fairly quickly. It would take a while to find you.
Dude, you know how, like, you ever have that thing of, I don't think Anjanette's not, like, obsessed with true crime, is she?
No, matter of fact, it scares her. You know, anytime I watch anything that has a little bit of scariness or violence to it, she just walks out of the room. She wants nothing to do with true crime.
Because Anjanette's got a great moral compass, and she recognizes that those things are probably made of evil spirits, and you don't want to play with those things, right? She's a smart lady.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said my wife has a great moral compass, unlike her husband, who does not have a great moral compass.
Well, I don't know what this says about my friend Luann's moral compass, but she is obsessed with true crime documentaries. And then we're up in this beautiful, pristine wilderness. It's just gorgeous. You can't look around and not think about God's amazing beauty, right? And Luann looks around and goes, man, you know what this would be great for? Hiding a body.
See, if you become obsessed with like true crime podcasts and documentaries, does that mean you've got that gene that you might be you might tend to start planning your own true crime? How you'd get away with it?
I feel like you're nipping on it. You know, like okay, I'm watching these to see where the mistakes were made.
Okay, here's how I would cover it up. I think I could get the perfect crime.
By the way, she's not wrong. You could hide a body up here. 14,000 islands.
Yeah, it's called a brick, a chain, tying around body, a boat, and drop them in the lake.
Trav, I think honestly, you would drag it to an island and just leave it on the island. I wouldn't try to put it in the water.
Yeah, because it might come back up. It might.
Yeah. And I think if you just put it on an island, the bear's going to come and eat it eventually. Wow.
Oh, dinner.
Something.
Dinner. Wow. Go back to the guy from Decorah. Was he hearing you on the deck yesterday, or is he aware of us in the show?
I think they had. I think they had the show on up in the lodge yesterday.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure they did. I know they did because when I went up to get coffee one time, I heard it's 25.
It's 25. Speaking of it's 25, Brian Duax, our good buddy over at Central City Liquors, got his entire staff It's 25 T-shirts, and he sent us a little snapshot yesterday that the shirts had arrived, and I said it's not real until Dana and the Todd father are behind the counter wearing the It's 25 shirts, selling liquor at Central City Liquors and handing out wooden nickels. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it real.
Dana's still mad at us, so let's not.
Why is she still mad at us?
We didn't sign enough bottles.
Oh my God!
What?
Listen, I was going to sign every single bottle, every single one. It was Ross's fault. Ross didn't think our autograph was that valuable, and turns out it was a requested item. Dana, we're apologizing, but we do know that Brian Duax has a Rush Radio Maker's Mark bottle coming out, and that's going to be ready maybe December, maybe early January, and we'll take time to sign those bottles. We'll make sure to take the time to sign those bottles. Did he think we were off the mark on corporate media, or did he just laugh at us?
Oh, no, we didn't really get into it. I mean,
okay.
It was a 5-second conversation, and we're just, again, dude, being on the air till 8 here, I don't get to I miss out on the breakfast thing. And so when we get off, I'm racing to get to the dock on time. So that it was like a 5-second, hey, how you doing? I own some radio stations. Nice to meet you. He's like, man, do I have my card? And his son goes, Dad, you don't need a card anymore. It's not his son. It's not his son. They looked alike. And the way that he kind of talked to him, I was like, that must be your son. He goes, no. And I go, oh, that's just a good friend.
You don't need your card. This isn't a business trip. But yeah, always be selling, right? Always be networking. That's what it is. We did mention the Hawks are in action tonight. Again, a 7 o'clock game. We're going to be on the air right after the game with a black and gold rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Coming up later this morning, Tyler Kluver, former Iowa Hawkeye, and, of course, host of the Washed-U Walk-Ons podcast, going to be joining us to talk about this game. If you have not made your picks on the Roster Baiters Pick'em Pool, the Iowa-Rutgers game is part of tonight's Pick'em Pool, so make sure to get on your pool and make your picks. A lot of good games coming up this weekend, a lot of good games on the Pick'em sheet. So you go pick 10 games, do a tiebreaker at the end, and be part of our weekly contest. You can still get signed up. It's a point-based system, so if you're really good at making picks, you might be able to make up some ground, but time's running short as we are now into the 4th week of the season. Iowa, again, at Rutgers. Let's just dive right into this, Ross. Iowa has never lost to Rutgers. Does that surprise you? Has never lost to Rutgers.
Can I ask how many games we're talking about?
I think it's 4 or 5. Okay, ever since Rutgers came into the Big Ten.
Yeah. When I saw that on the rundown today, my first thought was, "Whoa, cool! Oh man, Hawkeyes have dominated Rutgers," but Rutgers has kind of been a pretty bad program for the most part, and they haven't been a part of the Big Ten for a long time. So I didn't even know how many games we were talking about. That doesn't surprise me. Does it kind of scare me a little bit, though? Because things like that...
This is where I wanted to go, yes.
Yeah, eventually, it's kind of like the Iowa State, the away team always wins. Well, eventually not. Well, the team that's the underdog always wins. Well, eventually not. And that does worry me. This is Vegas sees this as about a 3-point game, sees it as a pretty close game. I'm not crazy about this Hawkeye offense, and I don't know how anybody could be. You are, even though we believe that running back room is really deep, you're still banged up a little bit. And so I think that you're going to have to win this game with defense and special teams and not have the offense make big mistakes. So that probably means running the ball 35 times, 40 times, and getting, 280 yards on the ground, something like that. Hopefully get a couple special teams plays, and the Hawks get out of New Jersey with a win, and then we can have a fun conversation about what's going to happen. Because the opposite spells trouble.
The opposite spells a lot of trouble. Rutgers is pretty banged up right now. In their first 3 games, they scored 30 points or more. They've played some powder puffs. Norfolk State, last week wasn't what I'd call a world beater, but they put points on the board. They are without their leading receiver, or they were last week. He's questionable for this week, trying to come back, but even Greg Schiano said on a short week, it's going to be hard to get him to come back. They're out with their main running back, C.J. Campbell, is out. They're out in offensive tackle. So the depth of Rutgers is going to play a factor in this game just because, they're banged up. They're going to their 2 deep. They're going to their 3 deep already. And Greg Schiano knows, even though his offense has put up numbers, especially really good passing numbers, they've got an experienced quarterback, that the Iowa defense is going to be the best defense they've faced all year. And in this series, which Iowa has not lost a game, Iowa has pitched 2 shutouts. So, I look at a night game. I look at a Friday night game, and I always get – we saw Iowa do the gold out. We've seen, everything. They're doing a blackout tonight in New Jersey. They're doing a blackout. Do you do and I know why they're doing it, because it's a Friday night. Let's black the stadium out. But do you do a blackout night, Ross, when the team you're playing has black in their color scheme?
My God.
I know. You can roll your eyes and make fun of it.
No,
but
I want to live in my Hawk fandom today. I want to be in a place where I'm not cynical about the Hawk. It's game day. It's a Saturday day. It's game day. Even though it's Friday, it's Saturday. I woke up with that fall fever in me. And you start to talk about this stuff, and all of a sudden I get cynical.
Why do you get cynical over it?
I don't know. I don't know. I want to be optimistic today, and this, I don't know why that made me feel
less optimistic.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. I don't know why that would make you feel less optimistic. I just look at it and go, Iowa had its gold out, and fans get excited about that. Where your gold?
Here's what it did to me. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to piss off Hawkeye fans, but quit it. Quit it. It's
what?
black. It's black. It's not our color. In fact, I thought Rutgers' colors were red and black.
They are. I thought all I brought up was, okay, your opposing team's wearing black. It's not about. I would have done a red out. It would have been like, hey, because it's a different color.
I don't know, man. Whoa.
Don't mess with things. You're fine.
No,
you were fine.
The automatic part. It's on automatic, Travis. That's where I'm trying to get it. So there we go. I don't like I don't care about the school colors. I don't care about the uniforms. It's their color too. If they were to look at the schedule and go, okay, let's think about our opponents. What are you doing? Think about you. Do you. You guys think about what you want to do. What's most fun for your group? And if the minute you start thinking about the other team and the opponent, I just don't understand. I think that you've lost your way a little bit there if you start doing that.
Well, I wouldn't blame Hawkeye fans. I would blame me because I'm the one who brought it up. And Charlie even said, "Hey, Ross, it wasn't Hawk fans. It was Travis, and it was me."
I didn't see that. Yeah, I thought. Well, when you said that, I thought maybe that was something that was going on Twitter, like Hawk fans, like, "Oh, that's our color."
No.
Like, oh,
this is just something I was thinking about as they were putting. I'm like, man, I would have gone with a red out. If I'm a marketing guy, which I am, I go, Iowa wears black. They're gonna have black helmets. Fans would be wearing some of that black. Well, Iowa fans, if you're in New Jersey and you're going to the game, wear gold tonight, so you stand out.
And maybe
don't wear black because you blend in.
Maybe part of the thing is, hey, if we do a blackout, half the Hawkeye fans that show up will blend into our crowd. I don't know.
That's a good point.
But I think it's fun. These scheme games, whatever you want to call these things, where the Hawkeyes do the stripes or you do the blackout or the gold out, Travis, I will never forget those moments of turning the corner where we would walk from the Finkbein commuter lot. We'd walk past the baseball field. We'd turn on what's basically the northwest corner of the stadium, and you'd get this glimpse. You'd see the hospital in the background, and you'd get this glimpse inside of Kinnick. That moment, that moment of turning the corner and seeing the stripes or seeing everybody in gold or black, did it for me. you'd go, yeah, this is sweet. I didn't like it until that moment I saw it.
What you just described is that sense of awe, right? And there is a moment, whether it's at a stadium, and it's happened to me a couple times. One was the original Coliseum. I'm in Rome, and I'm just walking down the street, and you turn around, and you turn the corner, you're like, oh, my God, this is the Roman Coliseum. But it has that kind of same effect where there's just this angle where the magnitude of everything hits you, and you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
I think you told me about that. I remember you calling me one day and being like, dude, I turned the corner, I saw the Coliseum. Like the perfect shot of it.
I mean, I still get it when and this sounds so pretentious, but I still get it when I go to Florence. I've been to Florence 16 times, right? I walk down the street, and there's the Duomo, which is the large church cathedral. For how big it is, every time it's just like, holy crap. Yeah. You know, it's just one of those things. I get it when I go to Hoover Dam.
Wrigley? You've been to Wrigley?
I've been to Wrigley maybe 3 or 4 times.
Didn't feel it like that?
I didn't have that feeling with Wrigley.
Yeah, I did. Yankee Stadium?
And I think the magnitude of it is when I can see inside the stadium. Hear me out. So I'm driving I-70 from St. Louis to Kansas City, and you come up on Kauffman Stadium, and you look right into the stadium from I-70. And even though there's nobody in there, you go, your first thing is, that is so awesome. And then it's like, why do you want to get rid of the stadium? It's so beautiful. You know, I mean, it's just like there's something, sports venues, no matter how big or how small, are like cathedrals. They're like churches. They take your breath away.
Some.
Yes, not all, some.
I mean, and I'm not knocking on the arena in your town, but that CHI Health Center.
Yeah.
Does not do. You drive past that thing and think you're going past a warehouse.
And I would say the Casey Center is the same way, right? It doesn't have that.
I mean, it's got a little bit more of a arena feel to it and look to it. There's something about that open air stadium. I agree with you, dude. I remember when they opened the gates at Yankee Stadium, and my buddy Travis and I ran in.
Can I ask you, was it old Yankee Stadium or was it new Yankee Stadium?
Old Yankee Stadium. We ran back to Monument Park and did the tour. I remember that. I remember we sprinted through the corridor and up the hallway, like that moment in Rudy. You know, when his dad walks up the thing. And, what's his name? It's Beatty. Norm Beatty?
Well, yeah, I think it is Warren Beatty. Yeah.
Warren. No, not Warren Beatty. No, the other guy, the guy from Deliverance. Oh, come on, Trav. You're better at this than me.
Ned Beatty. It's Ned
Beatty. Thank you. Were they related?
I don't know. Warren Beatty is Shirley MacLaine's brother, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yes. And Ned Beatty is the guy from Deliverance.
Yeah.
And Rudy. How would you like to be known as the guy that had to squeal like a pig from Deliverance? Hey, I know you. How many movies have you been in? Oh, 100? No, you've only been in one. You had to squeal like a pig.
You're the peel squig guy. Yeah. I trained at Juilliard.
Yeah, but you can squeal like a pig. You're getting a lot of people saying Wrigley Field did that for it, and everybody has their. Mine's going to be different than Ross's. Yours is going to be different than both of ours, but everybody has that feeling when they walk upon a stadium.
I'd love to hear people's what other people's. There has to be other stadiums that you kind of felt like that. I think that's a cool thing when you. I remember those moments. Wrigley to me has like this magnetism about it, man. I swear, when you're in Wrigleyville, they could put a blindfold on you and spin you around and take the blindfold off, and you could point to Wrigley. There's like a magnetism to it. There's something different there.
But I think you and I are both on the same agreement. An open air stadium has that effect, and maybe it's because you can see the magnitude of it, right? And I use Kauffman as an example, and the way Kauffman is designed, which is still. Too bad they have to build a new stadium. You know how they move double wides down the street? Too bad they just couldn't.
Just put it on wheels.
We're going to take it off its foundation. We're going to put it on a bunch of trucks, and we're going to move it downtown.
They do it with houses.
Yeah, why can't they do it with a stadium? Should be possible. Sarah says the first time flying into Vegas. I could see that. And now with the Sphere, and I've never seen the Sphere in person. I've flown over the Sphere, and
the Sphere looks
look at
fake. In person, the Sphere looks fake. The Sphere looks like you're having an AI. It's like, it looks odd. It looks cool. It's super duper cool. I mean, to knock it at all.
Coach Hersom says Darrell K. Royal and Kyle Field, something about a 100,000 seat stadium that gets
Help me, I'm so sorry. Darrell K. Royal is what?
That is the University of Texas. And then Kyle Field is Texas A&M.
All right. You've always talked about A&M.
A&M is
You said that 12th man something to behold.
It's if you go for the corniness of the tradition and you go for their like military like band, it is something to behold. Now, I was never there when it was 100,000 seats. I was always there when it was 70, 80. They've done a couple of expansions. I don't think I've ever been. No, I take that back. I've been to Penn State when there's been about 100,000 people in there, and that's pretty intimidating as well. But
This is great. Sean writes, I'm a Cardinals fan. First time at Wrigley, pigeon pooped on me.
That adds to the mystique of Wrigley, right?
I hate this place.
The poles that block your viewing, obstructed view seating, all sorts of things. And Wrigley, is it because of the history? And let's use Kinnick Stadium. I love Cyclone Stadium. Every time I drive Jack Trice Field, you're like, oh, what they've done is beautiful. But it's still a 1970s concrete stadium. What they've done with Kinnick is preserve and add on to that history to make it look like the original piece.
And I'm not trying to turn this into just defend Iowa State, but I did spend a lot of time up in Ames this summer playing at Coldwater, and dude, they have taken. I want you to try to reevaluate it. Okay, I want you to take a fresh look at Jack Trice Stadium, and because what they did there was they took that 70s cookie cutter two-sided stadium.
Yep.
You don't see that anymore.
No, not at all.
You don't see. You have to know that was what that was in order to be able to put that back in your mind. Because, dude, when they started talking about the bridge, I was like, it was very much tongue in cheek for a long time with all those Iowa State fans like, oh, check out our bridge, yeah. But it adds to the structure and the look and the feel, and it does make. And I think that when they get their Cy-Town built, it's going to add to all of that stuff, and it won't look like Iowa City was lucky to have that old awesome structure with Kinnick Stadium, and they were able to build and modify while maintaining that character. I feel like what they've done up at Jack Trice was make the best with what they had, and it's again, you have to know what you were looking at to see that old stadium in there.
That's true. And hell, there will be a generation very soon that doesn't even remember what the old Jack Trice looked like.
Yeah.
515-517-2303 coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. It's the Iowa Lottery Weekly Woo-Hoo. So start planning on who you want to give a woo-hoo to. And Ross's woo-hoo is going to be the sunrise this morning over the lake in Canada.
I'm going to get you a good shot of that eventually.
The truth is sometimes photos just doesn't do it justice. You have to be there to experience it. But if you have a weekly woo-hoo, we're ready to award you a $90 prize pack from the Iowa Lottery. Again, that's coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Tyler Kluver going to be joining us at 7:30. And we're going to talk a little college basketball when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
It's game time at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. We're kicking off September with hard-hitting deals. Drive the legendary Silverado 1500 with 2.9 APR for 72 months, or lease on a 2025 Silverado 1500 Turbo Max for just $349 a month. The all-new 2026 Equinox is on the field with 1.9 APR and no payments for 90 days. Need a value pack starter? The Chevy Trax starts in the low 20,000s. And don't forget, this is your last month to grab up to $7,500 in federal tax credits on eligible electric Chevy vehicles. Stop in and see us in Granger or visit us online at willischevy.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our family, and provides homegrown, clean-burning, unleaded 88 for our vehicles. Pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org to learn more. Ross bringing the humming, the singing.
Hate it. I used to hate it when I would listen to Dan Patrick and he would do that, and I find myself doing it all the time. I don't know why. I'm sorry. Apologize. It's me.
No need to apologize. You got a good voice.
You said you wanted to. I'm getting that fall phlegm in my chest, so my voice is getting real bassy.
Oh, that means Courtney's finding you sexy. She's like, get up into the bedroom. Get up into the bedroom.
Crazy. Let's not get over our skis here. You said you wanted to talk college basketball?
Well, yeah, because Iowa finally, and maybe I'm one of the few who follow this, finally released its entire schedule yesterday. So we now know who the Iowa men and Iowa women will be playing. and they waited quite a long time to get this out. And, Ben McCollum, I think, put together a decent schedule here. And what I mean by that is, for a first-year coach, a lot of unknowns, you want to set yourself up for success. The first thing you do is you have 17 home games, right? I mean, 17 home games is a nice little slate for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You want to have a lot of easy games in there that you can win. And there are a lot of easy games in there you can win. Iowa, if Iowa doesn't have a winning record heading into the main part of the conference season, there's going to be some serious problems. But they will. Ross, you look at it. You got a November 14th game at home against Xavier. Sean Miller, of course, he's no longer at Xavier, but I mean Xavier has a strong, proud basketball history out of the Big East. I like that. I know the Big East isn't considered a Power Five, but in college basketball, the Big East is a legitimate player when you have schools like UConn, Creighton, Xavier, St. John's, which might be the number one team in the country when it starts. I like that as a home game for Iowa, as an early test.
Yes, Travis, I think that there's one qualifier to everything that you said there, because I agree with everything if we say for now.
For now.
When you say, well, this schedule, you like this schedule because there's a lot of winnable games. What Ben needs to do here early on is win games. Pile up the wins. And I think that's what Coach McCollum has done here, right, is build this schedule, cultivate this schedule for the roster he's hoping to have or planning to have. It's kind of what he did at Drake, right?
Yeah.
It's very smart to say, all right, this is the team I have. This is the level we're going to be able to play at. If we're going to get to that 22-win plateau or whatever it is that your goal is, I think this is the way for now. I love having the Xavier game. Again, you're not playing St. John's, but you are playing a Big East team, and you've got at least. But for the most part, this schedule is cupcakey.
Yeah. Now, the true test, and it's because Chris Beard is now the head coach there, but you're going to get a really good test when you go to California. I think they're playing in Palm Springs. They're going to play Ole Miss. Ole Miss traditionally has not been a great basketball school. Chris Beard has turned that around, and Chris Beard is a really, really good coach. So it's a neutral site game. That's probably the first measuring stick of how you're going to do against what I would say is elite competition. This would be the third year for Chris Beard. They made a huge stride last year. I like that showdown. And then they'll play either Utah or Grand Canyon University out there. It depends on who wins that game. Go ahead.
I see. I understand the frustration with the cupcakey schedule. Do you? But Travis, you think the same thing? Like, I feel like 17 home games. You got to start building some hope and building some momentum, and you've got to do that with winning games.
Yes, and that's where. If this was if Fran McCaffrey was still here, I'd look at the schedule and go, really? You're in year 15, and this is what you're playing. And a lot of teams play cupcakey schedules, but there's always some of those marquee matchups. And whether they're on neutral site fields, whether they're on or courts, whether they're on home courts. But I'm with you. You get grace the first couple of years. There's that word grace again, in that you have a fan base that is fired up. You have a coach that's been engaged not just with the student body, but with the overall fan base. So absolutely, you get, in 5 or 6 years, if we're talking about the schedule, we're going to go, really, that's the best you can do? Yeah. We want to see better competition. But in year one, no way. I mean, you go get wins where you can get the wins and build confidence, build momentum, there's no apathy with the fans right now. There's zero apathy with Iowa Hawkeye basketball right now.
It's funny, Travis, like you said, if Fran had released this schedule, we would have killed him.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? But McCollum doesn't. We're all like, yeah, probably smart. Probably smart to just cultivate some wins here and get hope and that's the right word. Get the hope going again, or feed that hope that is there right now.
Well, the difference is when you're a year one head coach, people are much more forgiving. And if you build hope, most people, if Fran McCaffrey was still the head coach, would be like, oh, sure, build our hope up and then falter in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying Iowa's going to go out and dominate the Big Ten. I'm not making that prediction.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. But this is the difference between a first-year head coach and a guy who's been there 12, 15 years.
Okay, so you've cultivated the schedule. You've brought in your roster. What are the expectations for this Hawkeye basketball team?
To be honest, I don't think it would be. I'm not going to be disappointed, but I think the expectations would be get to the NCAA tournament.
I think so too, Travis. We've talked about this so many times. We've seen it at so many institutions. In college basketball, you can turn it around in a year. You can bring in a couple of your dudes, you can coach them up, you can win basketball games right away. And if you don't, it's not a good sign of things to come. Not in 2025 anymore. We live in a world now where you should be able to come in and win. And now you've got the schedule, you've got your cupcakes, you've got your roster built up. I think that's fair. I think the expectation for Hawkeye basketball is going to be NCAA tournament.
Matt says, the problem is, guys, if Iowa's on the bubble, the first question the selection committee is going to ask behind closed doors about Iowa is, but who have they played?
You're right.
That's with every team.
But you've got to get – and Matt, you're 100% right, Matt. But I think what Ben McCollum is thinking right now is I've got to get to that conversation.
Yes.
I've got to get to that table. And the only way that I can get to that table is by having that number next to the W. And the way I get the number next to the W is by playing these teams that are a little bit inferior so that we can pile up the notches on the headboard.
It's interesting, and a question coming in or a comment coming in is that the number of wins is optics matter. Over 20 wins looks good. 20 used to be the benchmark. I don't think 20 is the benchmark anymore.
Yeah. Because of this.
Because of all the metrics they use.
Well, most teams have been cultivating the schedule.
Yes.
And so if you really want to stand out, let's think about it, Trav. In the Big Ten, isn't a 20-win season in the Big Ten is probably still enough to have you in the tournament.
Depends on what your non-conference record was, right?
That'd be a fun one to look up. How many Big Ten teams have won 20 games and not made the tournament?
Yeah, just being in the Big Ten, you're going to get a lot more latitude than you were if you were in the Missouri Valley Conference or if you're in the Sun Belt Conference or even if you're in Conference USA. The Big Ten is going to give you and what Big Ten games you win. So there's some latitude there. They do play Iowa State as well. That's going to be a road game, and that's going to be the Iowa State game is the Iowa State game. We're always going to be fired up about that. The Iowa women also released their schedule yesterday, Ross, and somebody put in the chat earlier, is Jan feeling the heat after one season? I don't think so. Now, she's playing a tough schedule this year. Iowa's going to play Drake, UNI, and Iowa State. God, I love that. I love that the women still play. Everybody plays everybody. That's so cool. They've got Baylor on the schedule. They've got Miami on the schedule. They've got UConn on the schedule. So it's
at UConn, or does
it's going to be right before Christmas. I think it's December 20th. It's going to be played in Brooklyn, New York. So they're going to play in Brooklyn at one of those women's basketball classic things. So it's a neutral site field or a court, but I like that. That's going to be you're playing the defending national champions. I like that you're willing to go play a game like that. You're like, yeah, we'll take a national TV audience. We'll take UConn because that puts your program in the spotlight.
I'm with Jason on your question about Jan. Oh my God, not even close to feeling.
It was a comment earlier. I'm with that.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying I would that if you're asking is she feeling close to the heat, if one of the listeners is, I'd say no, not at all. Not at all. There's going to be a really, really long leash there. As long as you've got Lisa Bluter still being as much of a public figure and as much of a face of Iowa, I think that's a huge protective umbrella. for Jan. And again, I don't know what the expectations are. I really don't. The expectations in Beth Gett's office cannot be Caitlin Clark era. It can't be, all right, Jan, you got to get us to the national title. Every couple years we need to be in the national title game. I think that the expectations have to be long-term, 20-year vision. What was the Iowa women's basketball program? Competitive. Well, and we want you to be. We want you to. We've raised that bar now. I mean, am I wrong, Travis, or is the expectation now for them to be a blue blood?
I think the expectation may now be a blue blood, because when you get that taste, I mean, Ross, if Iowa State makes the college football playoff this year, that changes. Once you wet your beak a little bit, you're like, oh, we like it here. I don't know if 10 years ago Iowa would have been invited to play UConn in a game like this. I don't know if they get the matchup with Baylor and because that's a blue blood program in the women's go. So when you go to the Final Four, when you go to the national championship game two years in a row, and I know it was because of Caitlin Clark or a big part of it, I think you go, oh, we want to live there. I think if you were to ask Jan Jensen, I bet she says, no, that's where we want to live. That's where our recruiting mindset has changed because of Caitlin Clark. We're getting in homes we never got into before.
You're right. You're right. And we talk about this with football a lot, that we want the expectation to be more. If you start to raise the bar, you got to continue to raise the bar.
Yeah.
And I saw one of the commenters post something. I don't follow recruiting. I don't follow the recruiting in the women's basketball world, but apparently Jan's bringing in some really high-level blue chips.
Yeah.
And that will make it. That'll make it so that Iowa, that is the expectation. And if the expectation goes up, then we have to readdress the first question. Is she on the hot seat? Not yet is now the answer.
Yeah, but I would agree with the earlier commenter, not even close for season 2.
Yeah.
No, if they ended up with a losing record, but they're not going to, I'd be surprised if they did. Then that may change the narrative a little bit. But, yeah, basketball season just right around the corner. Hard to believe that we're 4 weeks into the college football season, and now we're like, oh, basketball is starting next month already. It's crazy how that works out.
It takes me a while to get into basketball mode.
Does it?
Yeah, like Christmas.
What I like about basketball is that, you know, when it kicks off in early November, you do have some pretty good marquee matchups.
Yeah, that's true. And even, you know, we get that. Do you have the men's schedule in front of you?
I don't have the whole thing up. But
I was going to say, because they also have that Big Ten. You know, normally they play a Big Ten game, like first week of December.
Yeah, I'll bring it up real quick. But yeah, do you like that, starting going from Big Ten conference?
I do.
And then, or does it really matter?
I don't think it matters, but
yeah, they play Maryland. Okay, so after they get back from California, where they play Ole Miss and either Grand Canyon or Utah. Then on Tuesday, December 2nd, they play at Michigan State. Then they come home to play Maryland. Then they don't play another conference game until January when they're at home against UCLA.
Okay.
Now, of course, they're going to.
Honestly, those are a couple of, even those right there, those are a couple of good games to kind of figure out who this team is and how good they'll be. I like that.
Of course, they're going to be playing in Des Moines at the Casey Center against Bucknell, or is it Campbell? Well, let me look real quick. It's Bucknell. It's Bucknell. Yeah. You know, more to come on that, but little birdie tells me we might be giving away some tickets to the Iowa Bucknell game at Casey Center. So that's all coming up in the next month or so. So we'll be able to start talking about the Iowa Bucknell game at the Casey Center, where tickets are still on sale. And I don't know if ticket sales have been great to this point, but it's early. But they'll start selling a lot more, especially if they come out in those first couple games and they're playing really good basketball, or if they pull off an upset against Ole Miss, should we say?
Feed that hope, baby. Feed that hope.
Feed the hope.
Yep.
Feed the hope.
Not just win those games, but play exciting. That and then it'll get that will get the Hawkeye fans mad again.
Get mad again.
Remember when Fran tried to use that as the marketing ploy?
Yesterday, Ross, and I was thinking about you, and I don't know if you missed this on the lake or not, because I don't expect you to sit there on your phone and look at everything. But Clayton Kershaw announced his retirement yesterday.
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that.
He's he came in. He's going to start tonight for the Dodgers, but did a news conference yesterday, and he just said, "Hey, this is it. I'm 37 years old, and I decided." He goes, "Usually I wait till the end of the season because I want to know if the fire is still in me. I need to step back and go, okay, do I really want to retire?" But he said it just hit me that I want to make the announcement. I didn't do it during before the season. I don't think he wanted to make it about him. And he goes, I really didn't know. I didn't know if my attitude would change. He goes, I'm at peace with it. He goes, I actually feel really good. It's emotional because you're giving up you're walking away from something you've been really, really good at. And he's won World Series titles. This is 3-time National League Cy Young Award winner, 1-time MVP, 11-time All-Star. Of our generation, or this generation, where do you think Clayton Kershaw ranks as a pitcher?
Man, he's right there. He's right there with Justin Verlander. Maybe Max Scherzer. Who else belongs in that of these last 15 years or so?
Verlander?
Yeah, that's what I said. Verlander's the first name that I mentioned. Is there another dominant pitcher that we've missed there? I think he's a Hall of Famer, Trav. He seems like an awesome guy. Remember that he and is it he and Matt Stafford that grew up together? Is that right?
I don't know the answer to that.
Stafford was his catcher, and Kershaw was his center or something like that when they were little kids. Yeah, I like Clayton Kershaw, and probably time to hang it up. And wonderful career. This would be hard, Trav. I mean, you've been dominant at it, been your whole life. And Sean mentions Max Scherzer. That's another guy that I mentioned that belongs in there. Verlander, Scherzer, Kershaw. Those are those the 3 best pitchers of these last 15 years?
Probably. What I like about it is you got some guys, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. You can name a handful of athletes that just hang on maybe a little bit too long. And I don't know if Brady hung on too long or not. But here's Scherzer going, you know what? I'm 10-2. A lot of teams would probably try to pick him up. They'd be like, But you go, you know what? I think he's smart enough to recognize it's only downhill from there. It's not like I'm going to get any better moving forward with age. And to have that self-reflection to go, I can't do anymore. What else do you want from me, right? And what else do I want from myself? Isn't it weird? Here I'm going to be 55 on Monday, and I still feel young. Can you imagine being 37 going, man, I'm too old for this game. Too old for this game.
I could imagine being 37 having them digits.
That's so true with the digits. So true with the digits. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, I think it was Dusty. Somebody said, "Am I in a closet with it?" He goes, "I look cramped. I have a ton of room." What happens is the camera comes when we go the double screen. It comes. Ross has seen the studio. He knows.
This is how big Travis's room is. He's in a bigger space than I am right now.
It may not look like it, but I really, really am. I'm not going to complain about the studio I'm in. It's
Dude,
really, really.
Listen, when we hit the break here, you're not going to like it. I'm going to turn my broadcast position because you have got to watch this happen behind me.
So when it comes to sunrises, and you have some cloud cover today.
Yeah.
Is a sunrise better with a clear sky, or is it better with the lingering clouds where the sun peeks through and you're like, oh, it's majestic?
I mean, you can get all these oranges and pinks and stuff like that happen. That's pretty cool. But from this deck, I can show you pictures. I've probably sent you photos of crystal clear blue skies and days like this. And which is better? Both.
One thing that I've always wanted to see in my life, and I'm going to ask this because you're in Canada, and I've never seen, and we're getting, and I don't know if fall starts to change it, are the Northern Lights. I've never seen the Northern Lights.
saw something as close. So you are looking straight north here, okay?
Okay.
From this deck about 10 years ago or so, was the first time I really became truly starstruck. Now, I didn't see the Northern Lights like people talk about with that green and blue thing roll over, but out of these trees shot these unbelievable white columns all the way across the sky. It was like watching keys on a piano. These columns of light came flying out of that across the sky, and they would stay in the air. It was like, remember those hypercolor T-shirts? How you would it'd like make a little streak, and the streak would stay and then fade very, very slowly. And me and a bunch of my buddies, 40-year-old men, stood here on these rocks and went, "Whoa,
we're going to heaven, boys! We're going to heaven."
Did you see that? Did you see? Whoa! So I've never seen the Northern Lights, but I've seen something that was pretty close to it. That was some sort of lingering effect of the Northern Lights that we were seeing that night. But I've never seen that thing that you see the pictures of, that Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
The blue-green swirling mist. When we got here the other night, one of the ladies pulled it up on their phone and saw that the forecast for the Northern Lights came down to where we were.
Hold on. There's a forecast for the Northern Lights?
Yeah, you can get a predictor that shows how far, what the magnetic field is reflecting at that time. And that one showed that we would maybe have a chance to see it 2 nights ago, but the clouds were too heavy, so we couldn't.
Damn.
So, yeah. It's the one thing I've missed out on. We had a cool thing happen yesterday that guide Gary hooks up with a rock bass. Fish, he's reeling it in, and as he's reeling it in, the pole, bang, goes real heavy real quick. And he's reeling it in again, and the fish gets about 5 feet from the boat, and underneath it you see this white swipe go past it. That's a big fish coming to eat his fish that's on the hook.
Oh.
Okay.
That fish knew that other fish was weak.
Dying. Yep. That fish knew that other fish was dying and was coming to snipe it. And got it about 2 feet from the boat, and we saw this muskie come up out of the deep and take another swipe at this little tiny rock bass. He missed it both times, but then that fish died. That fish died. Dang. That's fun. See a great big 50-inch fish comes flying through the water.
Then did you try to catch the muskie? Were you like, let's get the muskie?
Well, we didn't. Yes and no. It's gone. It takes us, it's a ghost. It's a ghost. You see it for a second, and then you go, whoa, everybody saw that, right? Because we're not going to see it again.
I wonder, I always look at a body of water like what's behind you, and I always wonder, what's the biggest fish in there right now? When you go by a river, you're like, what's the biggest catfish in that thing? Wonder what the biggest fish in there.
Remember, this is a 1 million acre lake, so this water goes all the way over into America and Big Traverse Bay, and over there you've got sturgeon. You have freshwater sturgeon over there, and they'll get to be. Eli caught one that was like 5 feet long. So if you're just looking for if you're looking for the toughest, meanest predator fish, it's going to be a muskie. And a 50-inch muskie that's a trophy.
515-517-2303. That's the number to call. And know that number because coming up very, very shortly, it's the Iowa Lottery Weekly Woohoo. Your chance to win a $90 prize pack from the Iowa Lottery. And this has been an uplifting segment for us. It makes us feel good. So the Weekly Woohoo coming up very, very soon on the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's $25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines, and right now we have some exciting things to talk about.
We have our last Countryman SE. We are leasing that as low as $399 a month with $3,800 down. On top of that, we are doing 1.99 for 48 months on all new 2025 Countrymans. For more information, come visit your favorite Mini Motoring Advisor or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, my name is John Linares with Willis Lexus, and September is one of my favorite months. I would like to personally invite you to our Willis Automotive new car show on Tuesday, September 16th from 4:45 until 7:30 p.m. It'll be a fun night with friends, food, and beverages. Leading up to the car show, we've specially priced our vehicles for our new car show, and Lexus is supporting us with great low lease rates. For example, a $449 lease rate with $49.99 due at signing on ES. Stop on out or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to have you here, hanging out with us. We're all having a good time. We're here till 8 o'clock. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and start leaving your comments in the comments section. And, of course, you can follow us on X, Rush, or Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, coming up tonight after the Iowa game, it is the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Ross and I will be hitting the air right around 10:30 tonight. Game kicks off just after 7 o'clock on Fox. And then immediately after the game, you don't have to wait for a post-game show like you did in years past. We are on the air taking your phone calls for about 2 hours as we break down either an Iowa win tonight or an Iowa loss. We'll be talking more about the game coming up at 7:30 with Tyler Kluver, host of the Washed-U Walk-Ons podcast, joining us to give his final thoughts before Iowa kicks off tonight. You see Ross with the majestic scene. It's now, you're so well lit. And as I'm looking, I know if people are listening to this, let me do the best to describe it. Ross has like an island behind him that's got a big lake, as well. It looks fake. It looks like you are like chroma keyed with an AI background behind you.
The only thing that the water's perfect. The pink reflecting off the water. The one thing that the camera can't truly get is this area here that's kind of whitewashed, because it's just it's awesome. So love it.
It is totally awesome.
Lucky. Blessed to be up here, man.
So, we talked about the Iowa game in hour number 1. We're going to talk more about it at 7:30 with Tyler Clover. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. But there's some other pretty darn good football games coming up this weekend, Ross. And I'm kind of glad the Iowa game is tonight. I'm kind of glad Iowa State has a bye week, because we can sit back and watch some other teams, including in the Big 12 and the Big 10, with some ranked teams. Texas Tech at Utah is going to be one of those early matchups tomorrow that's going to be intriguing to watch from both aspects, because you have two teams that could be right there with Iowa State at the end of the season competing for that Big 12 championship and a spot in the college football playoff.
Travis, I hadn't even thought about that for Iowa State fans being Big 12, those Big 12 implications. We still need some time. We're going to need a couple more weeks to figure out what the top of that Big 12 looks like, right? And this is one of those games that's going to help decide that. I had looked right past this game as one that fans in Iowa should be paying attention to.
And I don't know why it is. And maybe it's because it's Texas Tech. Texas Tech has been good, not really great. They have potential this year, but just look at the state of Texas. You get lost with Texas. You get lost with Texas A&M. You somewhat get lost even with TCU, just because TCU's had maybe a better run than Texas Tech has.
Baylor had a better. I mean,
yes,
yeah. Man, Travis, that's and now Houston's probably going to surpass you at some point in that on that hierarchy.
Yeah. Not if they. Yeah, that's why I look at tomorrow. And then Utah. Remember, Utah was picked to win the Big 12 last year.
Yeah,
did not live up to expectations. Kyle, Whittingham, announces who his successor is going to be. You're like, is this going to be the last year? And then now all of a sudden they've kind of moved up that rank. People are going, well, this team's pretty darn good. So I'm anxious to watch that. One of those measuring stick games is between two storied programs, but we're like, where do they really fall? And this one's going to be in the SEC, and you have Auburn, right? I believe number 22 is going to be at Oklahoma. Oklahoma already has the win over Michigan, but we're kind of going, okay, how good is Oklahoma? Is it really, Mateen is a hell of a quarterback. He's now the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. I know it's early, but that's the kind of recognition he's getting after that win against Michigan. Hugh Freeze has been under a lot of pressure at Auburn, took a lot of heat for golfing as much as he did during the offseason. They expect to win and win right away at Auburn. So when you talk about measuring stick between two pretty storied programs that have won national titles, this is a big one.
That have huge expectations.
Yes. Massive expectations.
What time's that one? 11 a.m. is Tech and Utah. Auburn, Oklahoma is what time?
Give me a sec. I try not to have too many windows open.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I thought you were just looking at the schedule part of it. I thought it would be there in front of you.
No, I actually went and wrote these down. That's a 2:30 game on ESPN.
Okay, that's perfect because that
or on ABC rather.
From one to the other. All right.
Yeah. So you kick off with Texas Tech and Utah is on Fox, and so Fox Big Noon Saturday is going to be out in Salt Lake City, and then at 2:30 it's going to be like, okay, get the double screen up because you got Auburn and Oklahoma at 2:30 on ABC. Then over there on CBS, you have another intriguing game. And this is where we're going to find out where Matt Rule and the Nebraska Cornhuskers are. You have Nebraska at home against Michigan. To me, that's just based on where I live, that's an intriguing game. But we've been talking about Nebraska getting better. This is that third year for Matt Rule where he's, at Temple, at Baylor. He went to those 10-win seasons. This is going to be a significant measuring stick whether or not he can do that. Ross, I'm going to ask you this, and I know it's a home game, so that changes the dynamic a little bit. If Nebraska beats Michigan, does that change your attitude towards Nebraska? It's like, oh, now I'm going to pay a little closer attention.
All right,
they may not be a pretender, but more of a player now.
I don't want to try to ride the fence here, but I'm not rooting. I've said this many times. I'm not rooting against Nebraska anymore. I'm not. That Scott Frost is gone. I kind of like Matt Rule. I'm not crazy about him. I don't want him to beat the Hawks or anything, but I don't have any sort of hate, disdain for Nebraska.
He's a likable guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that. There's a personality there. I like him. That's fair to say. I think he's a likable guy. So if they beat Michigan tomorrow, what I do think will happen, Travis, is that lends credibility to a little bit. Now, we're not talking Michigan 2 years ago, you know.
True.
It's a little bit of a different Michigan team. They're not the world beater, but it's still Michigan. And if you beat Michigan, we're talking about that hierarchy that exists out in Texas. If you beat Michigan, you launch yourself back up to the top or near the top of that Big Ten hierarchy. Not at the top, because Michigan again doesn't give you that credibility right now.
Here's why it's an important game for Nebraska, and just hear me out, because of their favorable schedule. Right now, they beat Michigan, which is ranked number 21 in the country. Then they go to Maryland. I think they win that. They they're at home against Michigan State. So they play Michigan, at home against Michigan State, then at Maryland, at Minnesota, at home against Northwestern, at home against USC. Then they go to UCLA, they go to Penn State, and they end with Iowa. There's not too many more losses in there. You'd look at that and go, okay, if you beat Michigan, you're probably you may lose at home against USC. It's a home game, but you're probably going to lose at Penn State. And I think they beat Iowa. You think that Iowa beats them. It depends on how Iowa performs maybe tonight in some of those other games. Iowa's got a much tougher schedule than that. So you look at this and go, ooh, you can see where just the favorable schedule. And no team should have to apologize for the schedule. That's just what they were given.
Right,
you can't.
Right. And I think that, a lot of people that are leery about Nebraska and have been beaten up by Nebraska fans over the years started looking at this even last year, Travis, and go, whoa, their schedule's really, really favorable next year.
Yeah.
Matt Rule's going to have a good thing going. And you're right, man. Get this win against one of the few ranked teams that you have. You might be looking at a 10-win season. That's very possible with the way that schedule shakes out from here on out. That could be a really nice year. Doesn't mean that they're better than the Hawks. It just means at the end of the year they're going to probably have more W's in that column. And man, beating Michigan, that's going to mean a lot for both of those programs. By the way, I think that it would signify that teeter-totter happening.
And we talk about quarterback expectations. This really is a quarterback battle tomorrow. You got Dylan Raiola. He's got at least one full season under his belt. Bryce Underwood might be one of the most taught. We talk about Arch Manning and the expectations. Bryce Underwood comes in as that highly coveted, highly paid. I mean, Dave Portnoy has bragged about, hey, I'm one of the guys that helped get him in there. He didn't perform against Oklahoma like they thought he would. Here's a chance to maybe prove how good you are in a big setting. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Bryce Underwood in this game. And you wonder, and you're without your head coach. Let's not forget your head coach is serving a suspension, and you're not going to have your head coach with you.
I forgot about that, honestly.
Another game that's intriguing is that Florida matchup at Miami. Again, Billy Napier, we've talked about the hot seat for Billy Napier. It's getting hotter and hotter. You have an in-state rival here. Miami, one of the best teams in the country. And you just wonder how long the leash is for Billy Napier. If he played LSU close last week, LSU's offense just hasn't been what I would say, a world beater by any means, but they're a really good football team. But the more the losses start mounting, this could be a make or break game for Billy Napier. Wonder what that's like.
Well, man, you're gonna have to help me out, Travis. We went through that schedule just a couple. I think on Saturday night when we were talking about this.
Yeah.
Because they've got a couple of ranked teams coming up here.
Oh,
they're opposite of Nebraska. Their schedule's brutal.
Yeah, it's not favorable. Let me get to it really quick. So they've got Miami. They've already lost to South Florida. They've lost to LSU. They got Miami. Then they have Texas.
Yeah.
Then they have Texas A&M. Yeah. Then they have Mississippi State that hasn't lost. Then they have Georgia. Then they have Kentucky. Then they have Ole Miss. Then they have Tennessee. And then they end the season with Florida State. I don't know how you end the season with a winning record.
Fire him now. You either have to make the decision that you're going to ride that pony till the end of or fire him now. I guess it's this weekend, right?
Yes.
If he wins this game, I don't even know what that means for him. That's brutal.
That is, I mean, the SEC schedulers and the SEC's, they didn't do him any favors by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Honestly, listening to that schedule for a moment makes me go, that's why they should continue to play less conference games.
Yeah, that's still an 8-game schedule. Wait till you go to a 9-game schedule.
Yeah, and Tyler's right. Somewhere in there, they're going to play some cupcake in week 8, week 9, something like that. You're right.
No,
Tyler,
their cupcake was Long Island. They don't have a cupcake.
Oh,
left.
They don't have that. They don't have that late in the season non-con game.
No, their cupcake was Long Island in week 1. Their middle game was supposed to be South Florida, which they lost. Here's their whole schedule. Let me repeat it again. They lost LSU. You got Miami, Texas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State for that last non-conference game, the last game of the season. Their cupcake's done. They don't have the Week 9, Week 10 FCS team.
Man.
That might be one of the toughest schedules I've heard. And I know there's tough schedules every year. That's one of the tougher ones I can remember in recent memory going, holy crap. How do you want me to win here?
It's not exactly a woo-hoo, Travis, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. It is not. And speaking of, there it is, the Iowa Lottery. So now is the time to call it 515-517-2303. We have a $90 pack from the Iowa Lottery to give you, and that includes, let me get it out because I have it all. At least I thought I did. Papers. This week's prize pack includes Scratch, Match, and Win tickets, Jurassic World, and Iowa Blackout Scratch tickets, plus Mega Millions free play coupons valued at $90. And don't forget, it's your last chance to get any non-winning Jurassic World Scratch or Instaplay tickets entered in the Iowa Lottery Second Chance promotion, where you can enter to win $10,000 or a trip to Hawaii to compete for up to $1 million. Just check out iowalottery.com for details. And if you want to be a VIP, very easy. Sign up for free today at iowalottery.com/VIP. Phone lines are now open because it is the weekly from the Iowa Lottery at 515-517-2303. Does that make you laugh every time?
The button. I want to take it away from you is what it makes me want to do.
Oh, no. Don't take away my buttons. I want you to push my buttons.
It was
Ross.
the way that you hit it. And, like, your arm came back, like you had recoil on it. I was like, oh, boy, he's enjoying this too much.
I am enjoying it. I just let me have some enjoyment
I
in my
saw
life.
you did. For a minute, you were like, bang, I saw the recoil off it.
Boom, boom.
Like a sniper rifle. Do you have any woohoos this week?
My woohoo is my daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandbaby, which is upstairs, and it brings so much joy and excitement to my life. So all's right in the world. The only difference is I don't have all my kids here. Mary, of course, is in New Orleans, and Greta's in Savannah. But it's good to have Abigail here. It's good to have Will here. It's good to have Sutton here. And when there's a baby in the house, it just makes everything awesome. Just makes everything awesome.
Good. That's a good woohoo to have, buddy.
515-517-2303. Let's go to, is this Todd? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, and who's your Iowa Lottery Weekly Woohoo?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm a sixth grade teacher. This is my 27th year. We are finishing our 4-day outdoor it's called School of the Wild with sixth graders. So today will mark my having 113 sixth graders, teaching them how to build a fire, cook over that fire. Other activities that they're doing are pond study and archaeology, tree study, prairie study. It's just been a great experience for the sixth graders and for all of us teachers.
That's really cool. Todd, what school district are you a teacher in?
Benton Community. It's west of Cedar Rapids.
Boy, last week we had an Eastern Iowa winner. We got another person called from Eastern Iowa. That's cool.
That is Todd. That's really cool, man. Teaching, a lot of us when we get out of school, we look back and we go, man, why did I have to learn Spanish? Why was that a requirement for me to learn Spanish? I'll never need that skill. I went to Spain. I didn't need Spanish. But building a fire, that's great.
It's been pretty cool to see them, and I mean they'll do it for an hour, and we use flint and steel, and they just keep at it. And if we could go for another hour, they would do it. I think.
That's awesome.
I probably should have asked before I said that. What do you teach in 6th grade?
World history.
Okay.
Hey,
my wife's a Spanish teacher, though. Thanks.
One of our listeners is a Senorita Puffer, a great Spanish teacher. So again, just no knock on Spanish.
I've heard.
I wondered.
Hey, Todd, just to let you know, if you are a winner, I'll be texting you. I'll need some information, but I just want to let you know if this is your cell phone. It is your cell phone, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Have a great one, guys.
I never had that luxury in school of learning to go make a fire.
No.
Maybe I would have been interested in the outdoors if I had that guidance and information as I was growing up. I tried Boy Scouts, but that didn't work for me. They didn't work at all. 515-517-2303. Let's go to JoJo. JoJo, welcome to the Rush Radio Show. Who's your Iowa Lottery Weekly Woohoo?
Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, JoJo.
Hello. My weekly woohoo is my daughter who just finished her first year of college and got her dental assisting diploma, and now she is on to dental hygiene. And her first year, she was on the president's list 3 times and dean list once, and so we're extremely proud of her.
Wow.
That's awesome. Now, can I ask you something, JoJo? Yeah. Seriously.
I got a couple questions, too.
I mean, do you look at your daughter and go, that's great, we're proud of you. Do you really want to be in people's mouths every single day? Because God bless dental hygienists. God bless them. I couldn't do that job.
Podiatrists and dental hygienists. God bless them.
No, she says that. She says, Mom, people, because I think about blood and stuff, and I could never be a nurse or anything like that. And she goes, well, Mom, people ask me, how am I going to look at people's mouths every day? But she just loves it. So we're just, over the moon for her because she's going to make a lot more money than I do. So someday.
That means you did. That means you did it right.
And JoJo, you also now have free dental. You also now have free dental care at the ready.
Yes, and all the perks of like extra things you get, like free whitening and dental picks and all that. Those kind of perks will come my way because she's already gotten some things when she was in her first year of college for the dental assisting.
Nice,
JoJo's just ready to scoop up all the accoutrement.
Thanks, JoJo.
Yes, thank you guys. Have a great day. Love the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good stuff. We got phone lines open. Keep them coming at 515-517-2303. Ross, did you have a weekly woohoo?
Dude, look around.
That's
look
true.
Look around you. Yeah.
Look around you. Look up here. Take
how is
time
that song
to
make you think
make time to be. What? Sorry.
Who is that? Supertramp or something like that? Which awful, overrated 70s rock group was
Little River Band.
Okay. They're actually underrated. One of the few.
Little River Band, man.
My weekly woohoo is just being up here with my friends. I had a real moment of appreciation and reflection yesterday when we were coming home from our last fishing spot, and I'm on the boat with Courtney and Luann and Gary Moeller, who you guys have met, and I'm looking over his shoulder are 2 of my best friends, Dusty and Ryan. It was a beautiful day. We'd had an awesome day of fishing, and we were coming home for a wonderful evening. And that my woohoo is appreciation for all of God's wonderful creation.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Brian. Brian, welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. Who's your weekly Iowa Lottery woo-hoo?
Morning, guys. So less so who and more what, but I was out of coffee this morning and looking around the cabinet, and I found some instant stuff. I don't know when I got it or where it came from, but hey, it's a good morning when you got coffee, so just happy to have that. And Ross, it's been super cool just to watch that sky change behind you.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. I like that Brian took what I thought was going to be something bad. He's being very optimistic today, Travis. You notice that? I couldn't find coffee. Most people would say, I had to drink instant coffee.
Yeah, that would be me. I'm a coffee snob. I would see the crystals and I'd be like, I'm not drinking instant coffee. There's no way I'm going to have instant coffee. No way.
But did you hear Brian's tone there? It's a good day when you've got coffee. That's like the guy that has 2 teeth. And you're like, man, what are you thankful for? And he says, I'm thankful them 2 teeth meet.
Thanks, Brian. Good stuff, man. Oh, 515-517-2303. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron, welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. Who's your Iowa Lottery Weekly?
My woo-hoo started last Saturday with the birth of our first granddaughter, Amelia.
Man.
Well, first grandchild in general. So, and then that carried over with the Hawk win, and it's going to carry over tonight with another Hawk win.
There you go. You going to be listening to the Black and Gold Rush after the game? Say yes. All you have to do is say yes.
My plan is, and then I'm going to listen. I listen every week. Last week was a little depressing, but I get it.
Yeah, Aaron's probably like, well, if the game gets over at a decent hour, here's what's going to determine tonight's.
I watch. I stay up and watch. I stay up and listen.
Here's what's going to determine tonight's interaction: how close of a game it is.
I would agree with you.
If the Hawks walk away with tonight's game, if they win 21-10, something like that, and in the fourth quarter people can turn off the game and start to hit the snooze, yeah. But if it's a close game, if the Hawks lose, we might be on till 1.
Ooh.
I mean,
yeah. You might not get any sleep if they lose.
There could be some truth to that.
Sleep on the boat tomorrow. That's what I'll do, Aaron.
The rocking of the water. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
And congratulations on the granddaughter.
Yeah, that's super. I know that feeling. I hear
Amelia, still a very popular name, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, very popular name. We got a couple Amelias. Amelias in the family, and
is it after Amelia Earhart?
I think that's where most of them are from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found. You know the guy. A guy think he found her plane.
I've heard this.
I know. There's been 100. There's been 100 times, but some shifting sands and some island in the Caribbean started to expose some plane that would have fit the description. Whether or not it did, I didn't follow up see if it is or not. But I saw something a couple weeks ago that some guy was saying. I think he finally found it.
All right, Todd, JoJo, Brian, or Aaron. Who's your winner there, Ross?
Oh man, that's our 4 because we got to get to Kluver, don't we? Didn't even think about that. Man, did you put a star? Did you have one? I really like Todd. I'm happy for Aaron and Amelia, but I love the fact that you got a 6th grade teacher out there teaching kids how to make fires.
Yeah, because it's something different, right? You're teaching them how to survive. Because if I got out in the woods and I had no matches and I didn't have lighter fluid, or I could not go full Tom Hanks on an island by myself. Tom Hanks was smart enough to create a fire, abandoned on an island. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either, but I think you'd get creative.
You'd try. Yeah, the survival thing would kick in. You're probably right.
So I like Todd. That's my stars for Todd.
All right, well, we come back. Todd, congratulations. I'll be reaching out to you. Thanks for everybody who called in. Don't forget, every Friday we do the weekly Woohoo from the Iowa Lottery, where you can win some great prizes and a chance to win money and trips, which is really, really cool. Tyler Kluver, scheduled to join us when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
At Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, we know that the only way to do business is the fair way. That means honest quotes, no surprises, and work that speaks for itself. From the first sketch to the final sweep, we keep you in the loop because communication builds trust, and trust builds beautiful spaces. Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, fair, skilled, thorough. Just the way it should be.
The wait is over. The end of summer closeout on 2025 models is here. The most popular 2025 Nissans are priced to move, and we've got something for everyone. From the economical Nissan Kicks to the family favorite Pathfinder or the rugged Frontier, your perfect match is here. Get incredible savings, low financing, and limited time offers before the year ends. But don't wait. Once they're gone, they're gone. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at willisnissan.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Coming up tonight after the Iowa game, it's going to be a late one, but we want you to join us for the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. We'll be hitting the air probably right around 10:30, maybe quarter to 11. Following the Iowa-Rutgers showdown. We'll be on for 2 hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about what we hope is an Iowa win. But anything is possible. And here with us, as he is each and every Friday, to talk about the Iowa game, former Iowa Hawkeye, host of the Washed-U Walk-Ons podcast, Mr. Tyler Clover. Good morning, sir.
Hello, man. How we doing?
Dude, what were you were doing mid-calf deadlifts the other day. Travis, did you see this?
No, he's not popping up on my feed. Did you block me or unfollow me or something like
you
that?
block him? I think you have to block him not to see him.
Oh,
Okay. I definitely have Travis blocked.
Did you block Kluver is the question.
No, I did not.
It would be
You
warranted.
should, because it's embarrassing when you see the guy jacking up weights and you're sitting at home sipping your coffee.
I got my coffee too.
You are a motivating force, Tyler Clover. Keep it up, my friend.
I don't know about that.
No, it's true. You are, man. I mean that. You need to keep posting that stuff because it is. I joke with you about it, but it is. It's inspiring to people. So keep doing it. That's neat. Let's talk about this Hawkeye football team for a little while. When Travis was just saying it, when Travis was just talking about the game, I almost jumped in. He said, "We're hoping for the Hawks win." I almost said they better win tonight. In a little way, this Rutgers game in my head, as a Hawkeye fan, I still see Rutgers almost as like an inferior opponent, right? Where if you lose to Rutgers, I forget, man, this is a Big Ten team. Greg Schiano's a really good coach. They're hurt right now, but this is a group of dudes that are going to come in and try to win as well. I've just hung up on that reputation thing, and man, I am afraid of what the reaction could be if the Hawkeyes do lose a conference game on the road.
I'm exactly where you are. We're in the same boat on that beautiful lake behind you. What a view, by the way.
Yeah.
You're a fishing guy, huh?
I love fishing. My favorite thing.
Man,
I'm not.
We're not in the same. We're not in the same boat on that.
You and I are together on that.
Yeah, man, I am in the exact same space though. Even as a former player and one who is usually the guy on our show to bring perspective and be like, hey, you know how easy it is to lose to Rutgers?
Yeah.
Like, you know how the margin on a Friday night on a trip to the East Coast, how easy it is to just lose that game.
When even Vegas says it's a 3-point game. I mean, the and I just use that, Tyler, as like, how are the people that have no connection to it viewing what could possibly happen at the outcome?
My default is the same as yours. As a former player, we played them once, I think, when I was there, and didn't perform well. We beat them 14-7. It took a CJ Beathard to George Kittle, really big play, sort of late in or third quarter of that game to do it. I think we won 14-7. I still look at this as like, there's no way we lose to Rutgers, right? There's just no way. It's Rutgers. What are we doing? And then when you look at the season in totality and the way that the Iowa Hawkeyes always finish in hindsight, if we're going to win 6, 7, 8 games this year, then this is a win. Like that there's just no story where this isn't a win. So like in my mind, and I know I can't do this. I can because I'm a fan. We can do whatever we want. We don't lose this game. We're not losing this game. I don't care how it happens. It could look ugly or whatever. Like the Hawkeyes are going to win this game. Now in reality, like there is like this is Greg Schiano. He's a good coach. I do think I have this feeling. I don't know. I listened to Schiano's press conference this week. They are beat up on the offensive line.
They are.
They are very worried about our D-line. And that's not even like our on the other side of the ball. That's where we think we usually have the strength against most people, not just Rutgers, but like their rushing defense is like bottom of the entire country, and they haven't played anybody yet. So I just think the line of scrimmage is just going to be dominated tonight. I personally think that this is one of those games where you're like, ooh, it's a 2.5-point spread. And then we end up winning by 13 or 17. And you're like, oh, well, we took care of that one. But I could be wrong.
So I think last week against who'd they play last week? It was some bad team. Who'd they play last week? UMass. We saw a lot more blitz packages out of Iowa. Yep. Knowing that offensive line is beat up from Rutgers, do you just bring the heat? Because Calic McManus is a serviceable and decent quarterback. Their leading receiver is questionable, probably not going to play tonight. But do you just bring the heat nonstop tonight?
It's interesting because initially you think yes. Like, just pound that O-line who's going to be down to, like, a couple guys who aren't used to seeing the bullets flying. Hit them with some stuff that's going to confuse them even more, right? But it's almost a thing where, and I feel like the default might be for Coach Parker and them, where, like, if you can then win with just 4, win with 4. Because now if they're struggling against a 4-man front and we're getting pressure, forcing Calic McManus out of the pocket, out of his normal timing of progressions, then we can still keep 7 out and defend. And so even if they do get out, you still have a blanket of a pretty good.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you take it two ways. I think early in the game, you test it and you see, okay, how are they going to handle this pressure? And if they handle it or a blitz, right? If they handle it okay, or it doesn't really work, or they check to something that can sort of neutralize it, then you just tell Herkett and Llewellyn and Graves, like, hey, we know where they're at with their offensive line this game. You guys just find a way to eat. You guys go wreak havoc, and we're going to win with 7 in the back and just blanket these guys. And so those are always kind of game time things, but I think there's two ways you can approach that. But if you test them early and they just leave a guy wide off the edge and Shire just blows this guy up, then you're like, okay, let's dial it up again. And you just do it until they can't, until the game's over, or
until they tap out,
or they figure it out. Right?
They're tapping out, right?
Yeah.
All right. I've got a couple things I want to get to here, but one is on that offensive side of the ball. Obviously, running back room is a little bit dinged up. But what are expectations against this Rutgers defense? And we can get to Gronowski here in a moment, but I thought, more on your locker room experience there. How is that next man up mentality is obviously what everybody's got. You've got a dinged up running back room, but a deep stable there as well. What does that do inside the locker room? Everybody feels confident with that still?
This year more than ever, it's kind of wild. I go back to a year where we did really well, 2015. And on the outside, you probably looked at that year as a fan, at least before we started to kind of show what we had, as like, okay, we've got Jordan Canzeri and we have LaShawn Daniels, and those are our two guys, right? And then you realize, those guys get banged up, and like Akram Wadley goes out against Northwestern and has like 3 or 4 touchdowns and like 200 yards. And you start to realize like, oh, wow. And the mentality of that is the guys on the inside know what they're capable of. They know and feel a lot better, especially in the running back room, knowing that this is how it goes. Like, it's just hard to make a living doing the running back thing these days. Ooh, what a tough job. Just, hey, here's the ball. They're going to all come after you. It's unless you're Derrick Henry, you're done. So these guys know that this is how it's going to go. And so they've built that room in a way, in a rep practice sense, in a confidence sense, in a how each of them know the playbook sense, that not just them, but the entire offense is very comfortable knowing that these guys are going to be able to get it done. And not only that, but everyone's really confident in that offensive line. And they're looking at this knowing that, hey, it's our sort of like that D-line is looking at this game is like, this could be our game. Beat up offensive line. Let's go make it our game. That offensive line in the run game specifically for this game is looking at it the same way. Like, hey, we can control this game. We could be the X factor here. So I think that's how they approach it. Even though there's a couple guys banged up, be interesting to see what Moulton has. If he's, feeling healthy. Xavier Williams has obviously been great at times. You got the other 2 or 3 guys. So it's just, if the offensive line's doing well enough, I could probably score tonight. Right.
So can the opposite be true? And we've seen this before. You brought up the Akram Wadley thing, and I remember that game vividly. Can the opposite be true for Rutgers? They know over time injuries will catch up with you, but there's always that adrenaline game. Like it's a Friday night, it's under the lights. You've never beaten Iowa. How far can adrenaline and just motivation carry you if you're like Rutgers, or are the injuries? We're not talking one guy. We're talking multiple players that are banged up, and that changes that narrative a little bit.
There's going to have to be some big plays made from the guys that they still do have from their, initial first string, right? When guys go down and that you've got a hole. And that happened to us a couple times too. Like, I played enough times where we were on the other side of that. There's a couple times where we were down to a corner who just wasn't, you knew he wasn't going to have it, right? We had to throw in a couple offensive linemen there at times where you're like, oh, I don't know. The guys who are around him then have to pick him up. And in their sense, they don't have to play above their level, but they have to go in within their gaps, within their assignments. They have to make a play. they can't go under the radar and just do their job. They've got to make a impact play early in that game because it's a confidence thing. If Rutgers knows we're already a little shaky, and then in the first quarter Iowa drives it 80 yards and scores, it's like, okay, well, there's proof. But if you get a little like it's Ohio State 2017. We're going into that game, and just like the fans, we're not dumb. We know that we're going up against some great athletes, a great Ohio State team. But hey, Amani Hooker takes the first playback for a pick six, and you're like, well, shit.
Yeah.
We might be able to do a little something here.
Yeah.
And then another one happens, and that game is the ultimate example of like, guy makes a play, confidence. Guy makes another play, more confidence, to the point where by the end of that game, we made all the 5-stars quit. They didn't even that game is an anomaly in football history. But that's the example of what I'm talking about is if you can get a couple of your guys to make a play, Rutgers could feel themselves. Hey, it's 0-0 going in the second quarter. Maybe they get up 3-7-0. Maybe we can win this game against the Hawkeyes, right? So, definitely that can happen.
I felt like that was what kind of happened with Iowa State last weekend where you let a team stick around and you start to see that momentum build, and it's just hard to spark something when you're in Jonesboro, Arkansas, on the road, winning the game. So I like that. All right. So the other question that I had, Trav, actually came from our chat here. Going back to when I said Vegas thinks this is a 2.5, 3.5 point game, and I, as a fan, I'm not a gambler, but I know that as a fan. Do the players know the spread?
It's interesting. So, this is where I'm getting old, right?
Yeah, that's true. Different era now.
Yeah, I mean, sports betting was a thing, but it wasn't like, I don't even know if it was legalized in the state yet to be able to, I don't think we could do that, right? So, I mean, you could do it maybe outside the state or on NFL, or I'm not even sure what the rules were in 2016 when I was playing.
No, you weren't gambling in not legally. No. You probably had do
you have a Southside guy? Let's just be honest.
My dad and brothers do. They got a guy. But now it's like now the NFL is sponsored by DraftKings or FanDuel. Like we have FanDuel on our podcast, like all this different stuff. It's literally integrated into the game. 10 years has made a massive difference in how sports gambling is now just, I mean, it's literally part of the infrastructure of the money in football and sports. So I don't know if they know the spreads. Like, I don't know if they're into that or not. I always think about how wildly ignorant we were to the outside noise, to the spreads, to the whatever. We didn't know any of that. I don't remember ever talking about that with my teammates or anything. So I don't know if they do or not. I think now, 10 years later, it'd be naive for me to think that they don't hear a little bit more of the outside.
Okay, did you watch ESPN did you watch SportsCenter and stuff like that when you were in college? Because I'm sure that hasn't changed. And now ESPN, but that's half the shows on ESPN are about sports betting now. You would have to basically shelter yourself from outside noise not to know what that is.
I would still estimate that most of those guys don't watch a lot of SportsCenter or like Big Ten Network or anything. When you do have time as a full-time student and athlete, you're probably watching movies or TV shows on whatever subscription you got. That's what we did. But
you mean to tell me just because you play the game of football, you're not watching every game and dissecting? You mean people may not be as passionate about the sport that they play that people think they are?
I'm a prime example of that, probably to the extreme. But no, I don't think there's not a lot of guys like on a Saturday 11 o'clock game who are like, God, I can't wait to get back and watch the slate today. I need to see that afternoon slot. You're like, I'm gonna turn on Discovery Channel or something. Like, you're trying to get away from it.
Have you heard that story? I talked about this earlier, Trav, about Lawrence Taylor. Have you ever heard this story about Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor? That LT basically didn't know the teams. He didn't know. There's this great story about him coming up to Phil Simms one day in a TV studio, and he's like, "Yeah, Phil, what was the name of that team we used to play in New Orleans?" He's like, "The Saints, Lawrence." He's like, "Oh yeah, we were playing the Saints one time." And to the point of like, he knew his job. He knew his job was to go kill the running back, right? Did you have, and you need to out anybody. Were there guys that you remember that were like, this guy's a freak. He doesn't even know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's those guys. A lot of these guys, a lot of these guys are such natural athletes that they make their way into Division I sports after they started playing. Like I can name multiple guys who are like, yeah, I think I started playing football sophomore year. I'm like,
and you're in Iowa.
Excuse me? Like, I've been playing since 3rd grade and been thinking about being a Hawkeye football player. And I think if I didn't have that amount of time in this pursuit, I would have no chance. And these guys are like, yeah, my coach was like, you should play football. And it was sophomore year. And I was like, okay. And then the next year I had 12 offers. And I was like, okay, well, we're living different lives, my guy, then. Because that's, and they're like, I didn't watch college football in high school. They get in there and they're like, where are we going? What are we?
What's the big house? Why do they call it that?
Where's I know for a fact there's several times where I heard something like, where's Wisconsin? Where's the Badgers? Where is that? Which way are we going? They don't know the map. They don't know. I mean, it's college kids are can be wildly unaware.
You know, in football is one of those sports, probably the only sport that you could do what you just mentioned about, start playing. Bo Pelini once told me, he goes, I would rather kids just start playing like their freshman year. He goes, they don't need to be playing tackle football when they're 4, 5, 6 years old. He goes, but he goes, I can take an athlete at a freshman and make him into a player. Basketball takes a little more skill. Baseball obviously takes a lot more skill. Not saying that football is not skill, but I think that's one of those, your true natural athletes, you can teach that sport to them. And I'm talking really elite athlete, right? Yeah. I mean, you had to work your tail off for a long time, but I'm not calling you a natural athlete, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I understand completely what you're saying. The conversation and sort of how eye-opening it is for what I just basically talked about is like 95% of the guys you see at the top level, they were going to be there regardless. The nature versus nurture conversation is like, the guy who can, the dad, I think about it as a parent now, who can like take his kid at 7 and just get him in the batting cage, right? Or like start doing cone drills with their cleats on and turn him into a Division I athlete. It's 1 in 100. The 90, yeah, maybe 99% of those guys are going to be, hey, I was getting here one way or another. My natural God-given stuff was going to get me here. It's funny enough, I think this is maybe why people are drawn to us too. Me and my 2 co-hosts, Drake and Kevin, and a couple of our other buddies are examples of the outliers. Like the 3 of us who started the podcast are 3 walk-ons who ended up being starters for Iowa. And we all came from, Kevin's from Illinois, but he's essentially an Iowa kid. We're all 6 foot and under white kids from Iowa who didn't have the stuff genetically. And I mean, Kevin's literally the runt of his family. His 2 other brothers and his dad were all Big Ten offensive linemen. He's 6'1", 220. Like, which 6'1", 220 is still a monster to relative people.
Big dude.
Yes.
But yeah.
It's big to me.
But you're finding the league. You're finding, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. You hear about them eating McDonald's and they don't train in the offseason. And you're like, yeah, this is what you were born to do this. And, I was born to podcast, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny.
Found your sweet spot. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Must win for Iowa tonight. We talked about this earlier, how if they lose tonight, it's indicative probably of what's to come the rest of the season. And I know that's negativity, but I almost put this as a must win for Iowa tonight if they want to hit that 8 win total.
The must win stuff is funny for me. It's like, I mean, no, right? Like
they could win that. I understand what you're saying here. There's a possibility they lose tonight and then win other games that we don't think they would win.
Like must win for who, right? When I think about the must win or can't lose kind of games, I think of more like when somebody's job is in jeopardy. Like if KF was on the hot seat, or there's some team out there who's in the hot seat right now, and they've gotten to the point where this is a must win, and we got
Florida's a must win today.
Napier is in some must win games, or like his career is on the line. But who is this must win for, right? Like KF's not getting fired. There's nobody getting fired.
I will say this. What if we phrase it as like through the lens of the fans'
hopes and dreams.
Mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you this. Our lives get a lot more interesting if we lose tonight.
Travis and I've said this for 15 years. When the Hawkeyes lose, Travis and I do have this moment where we look at each other like we're mad, we're upset, and we look at each other and we go, well, show's going to be great.
It's this really weird dynamic. I'm with you guys. Like I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, you know what? It's going to be tough if we lose this one. The content's going to be great, or like for the health of Iowa State week is big numbers wise for the podcast and all this stuff. And when the Hawks are doing great, I'm sure you guys experience the same thing. Oh, people are tuning into the show. I'm like, babe, I need them to win this game so people listen to us. I need this. Like this is good for the show. And it's weird to now watch as I'm a fan, but I also have this ulterior motive for them winning. Like I need them to win so that professionally I can stay relevant. It's
kind of like you're gambling on it. I'd never thought of it that way.
I mean, sure. I mean,
I'm not you. I had never thought of it that way.
The only thing is, if we suck and we're 0-12, I'm probably still doing the podcast.
That's a good point. We still win.
Absolutely.
If they lose.
It's just going to be a tough time,
The only thing that hurts, as we've noticed with basketball, Trav, apathy.
Apathy.
You can't let apathy set in.
Now, because and where I know that comes in is that, believe it or not, the Nebraska podcast that I host with my good buddy Dr. Rob.
I watched that the other day, by the way.
What'd you think?
I didn't know that you guys had a big old setup, and you did that. You were part Nebraska, part Iowa.
Well, here's the deal. I was a sports director in Omaha for a number of years. If you talk to people over here, they hate me because I was pretty anti-Nebraska on the air. It wasn't anti, but just I called out the BS. But Dr. Rob's a really good friend of mine. He played for the Giants. He was the Big 8 Athlete of the Year in '94. He shared it with Fred Hoiberg, and we've been doing TV and this stuff together since 2002. I mean, we just kept it going.
That guy looks like he could still play, by the way. He's one of those that has the stuff.
And he's brilliant, Tyler.
Is he?
He's a brilliant dude.
Yeah, so there you go. We're 0 for 3 on this show right now. Because guys like that got all of it. He got it all.
That's a good point. I always liked Dr. Rob, but I never thought of him as selfish. He really he is, Travis.
Genetically,
he scooped up a lot of the talents that could, sprinkle some of that out for the rest of us. Dr. Rob.
I always go, did you do roids? I go, did you do roids? He goes, I took biochem. I knew what to eat. I mean, Tyler, you would love him.
You'd love
because
him.
He broke it down to one time how he figured out that you could only get your total weight and your body fat to a certain percentage to where you couldn't get any bigger. He goes, at one point, I was at 99.99% of his mass. He goes, I couldn't get any bigger, and he statistically figured out what the body fat was with total body weight, and I mean, it was a scientific.
I bet he would be a great guest. I was just thinking about how we had Ross on the podcast 2 or 3 years ago at the state fair.
Yeah.
And I should have you on, Travis, because your background with your whole background in radio and working with that guy and all over the place. We got to have you on as a guest, but
be more than welcome to come on.
Tyler, I'll tell you quick. Dr. Rob dropped one of my favorite lines of all time on one of their podcasts one time. A kid called into the show and he was like, "Yeah, I'm in my second year of medical school and I'm really kind of struggling." And Dr. Rob's like, "Oh, what are you struggling with?" He's like, "Right now, molecular biology." And Dr. Rob's response was, "Oh, that's the easy stuff, man."
Yeah, it's not what you want to hear.
I was like, oh.
Hey, you got to jump on with us tonight if you get time. No obligation. It's going to be late, so don't feel obligated. That's fine.
I feel so bad because I want to be like a staple of that show. I'm also so selfish with my sleep. So
that's fine.
The problem is I'm going to the Indiana game next week. So if I call in, I'm gonna have to be on the road or something. So
that's fine.
I hate missing it with you guys. We'll see. I'll text you, Travis.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon. Tyler Kluver from the Washed-U Walk-Ons joining us. Fun week. We're going to be on tonight with the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios, so don't miss it. Right after the game, right around 10:30, 10:45, it is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. Bye-bye, Ross.
Bye-bye.
It's Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity, and I'm excited to announce some great things we have going on this month. Right now we have retail cash of $10,000 on all 2025 QX80s and $8,000 all 2025 QX60s. For more information, come visit our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.